CRM, it's not for dummies. Coming up next. Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Ben Salisbury. Our consulting agency helps wineries and craft distilleries improve their sales strategy and sales process. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it and don't forget to subscribe. Today I'm going to talk about CRM. Do you know that whenever I ask owners of wineries or craft distilleries, are you using CRM in your sales process? I only ever get one of two answers, either yes or what is CRM? Now, if you're watching this video and you have heard of CRM, it was probably in the context of direct-to-consumer sales. No one in the wine business had ever heard of CRM until people were allowed to, by law, start selling wine directly to consumers. And this has blossomed into a huge part of the wine business. And you're even starting to see a lot of spirits direct to consumer. We've got a number of different providers popping up to do that. Speakeasy comes to mind. They have a great program for selling direct to consumers for small distilleries all over America. But anyway, most people who have heard of CRM, they think about direct to consumer context. And while CRM is certainly used in that way, what I'm talking about is CRM in a B2B context. Wineries and distilleries using CRM in their sales efforts for the trade, restaurants, hotels, bars, package stores, grocery stores. There, you just don't see a lot of CRM best practices in the B2B world. About a year ago, I wrote an article for Wine Business Monthly called "The Evolution of CRM and Its Power to Change the Wine Selling Game." If you're new to CRM or you want to learn more, I would start with this article. I'm going to put a link to the article in the description below, and you can just download it from my website. So what is CRM? CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. You may already be managing your customer relationships, but I suggest there's a better way to do it. Now, CRM is both a software, usually cloud-based, mobile-friendly. It's not just a software, though. It's also a disciplined best practice for managing the customer journey. And I'm going to dive into that more deeply in a minute. It's a way of operating your business. The business moves so fast and it's so competitive. You must leverage technology. You must leverage the ability to capture information, recall information, and use information that is going to improve the customer experience. And whenever you improve the customer experience, you're going to sell more product. There are a number of CRM solutions that are created specifically for the wine, spirits, and beer space. And the purpose of this video is not to conduct a review of each of the options. So I'm just going to run through them. You're welcome to check them out yourself. If you do want some help with the pros and cons of each, reach out to me. I'm happy to do this. I do it all the time. So the first up is GreatVines. GreatVines is built on the Salesforce.com platform. I use Salesforce.com in my own business. I'm a huge fan of Salesforce.com. It is one of the more expensive options, Salesforce.com, and anything built on it, but I also believe there's a reason they have such a huge market share. It's just a great tool. So if you don't know about GreatVines, you should check them out. Probably the second most widely used CRM in the wine and spirits business is the suite of tools from VIP. Their CRM tool is called Karma with a K. And you can learn more about that by checking them out as well. And then there's a bunch of smaller, newer CRM solutions. One that I've seen clients use that I like a lot is called VinoSmith. You should check them out. A brand new one's coming out that I'm very excited about. You may never have heard of it. It's called GreatVines. And you're going to be hearing more about that in the future, but specifically for the wine business. Also, I think it was last year, FinTech purchased LilyPad. LilyPad is one of the more well-known CRM platforms. So there's somebody that's going to be coming into the wine and spirits space too. Now, there are a lot of other CRM products, a lot more affordable, that are used across a lot of different consumer product industries. But I'm really a fan of the ones that are built specifically for the wine and spirits business. These are things that you can get going, purchase them and use them right off the shelf and start having success. Now, it's important that you don't confuse CRM with depletion reporting tools or other kind of business analytics. While many of the tools will do both, GreatVines absolutely does both. The VIP suite of tools does both, but don't confuse the reporting capabilities and the analytics with CRM. They often go hand in hand, they're tied together. But CRM and the best practices for CRM are quite distinct, and it all revolves around the customer. Information about accounts, information about contacts, information about activities, goals, surveys, follow-up. There's a lot to the CRM game. I would ask you to take a serious look at how you're managing information about customers now, both the accounts and the contacts that work there. If you're not using CRM, most likely you're using a combination of the address book in your Google, in your Gmail or your Outlook, using a combination of the address book that exists there, or some kind of a spreadsheet or some other internal reporting tools. I want to invite you to consider there's a much better way to manage all of this. And you sure shouldn't be trusting anything to your memory. And if you're writing stuff down in a paper diary or paper journal, while there's certainly some value in writing it down, the ability to recall it when you need it on the go is extremely limited by that. Now, CRM can be very intimidating at first. The user interface is often a little bit overwhelming, and I want to encourage you to just push through that, because the rewards of using a cloud-based, mobile-friendly CRM are so worth the extra effort of the learning curve. And I have news for you. We're about to turn the calendar on 2020. I believe in the next couple of years, there's going to be a great separation in terms of effectiveness of sales teams. Those that are able to leverage technology and all the best practices that go with them, and those that are continue to stick with what's always worked, which is spreadsheets, contact lists inside your email account, and your little black book that has all various pieces of data. This great separation is going to really make a difference in who's going to win and who's going to lose in this highly competitive environment. As we get ready to launch a brand new year, 2020, it's a great time to assess your current suite of tools. And if you're not using CRM, the first step is to learn more about it. And I would suggest you make a resolution for yourself that in 2020, you're either going to implement CRM or you're going to make a goal to find out more about it. So why am I such a big fan of CRM? I'll tell you why. I like to get better sales results. I like to improve my sales results constantly. That really should be, if you begin with the end in mind, this should be the reason you move towards CRM, this powerful cloud-based mobile-friendly tool to get better sales results. People ask me all the time, well, it sounds real complicated, it sounds real expensive, I'm not sure the ROI is there. Man, I just have a lot of trouble with that. If you're happy with the level of sales you're getting and you're happy with the quality of distribution, maybe you can get by without CRM. But I don't meet a lot of wineries and distilleries that fit that description. So I can't get into today all about CRM and how to use it and all of that. That's a much bigger topic. But I would like to give you enough of the basics to whet your appetite to take a deeper look at this. First of all, in a CRM system, everything revolves around accounts. So you have a list of all accounts, both current customers, prospects. There's all kinds of different stages that people are in when it comes to being an account of yours. But you get to keep track of that in a CRM system. In addition to accounts, inside all accounts are a list of contacts. Now, it's the information about the contacts that can really make a big difference over time in your ability to convert these people to customers. There is no limit to the number of data points and attributes that you can collect with regards to accounts and contacts. For example, I've spoken before, written about how there's a lot of volume to be had in high volume restaurants that have outdoor seating, private dining space, restaurants that are really, really busy, that if you make a placement there, you're going to get a lot more sales per point of distribution, a higher velocity than you would in just an average account. But in a CRM system, you can identify these accounts that to have certain attributes, like show me all the accounts that have outdoor seating. I'm going to target them for my new rosé coming out in the spring. Show me all the restaurants that overlook some body of water, like an oceanfront or lakefront, because I'm going to really, go after those guys in the summer. Show me all the restaurants that have some kind of happy hour, really robust happy hour, or brunch business, or wines on tap, or wines that are sold, expensive wines sold out of some kind of a wine preservation system, like a Cruvinet or a Repour wine server. Anyway, there's no limit to the number of attributes you can associate with an account, and you do it electronically, and it's there forever. And when you call up the account on your phone, you can see all these attributes. You can sort by it. There's lots of things you can do. And the same thing with the contacts. Imagine being able to keep track of all kinds of data points around contacts, like where they went to school, what are their influences, what levels of certification do they have, who's their boss, where did they work before, just all kinds of information. Have I met them at an event? Where did I find this person? There's just all those details. They really add up over time in your ability to sell. Using CRM is all about cultivating a relationship with accounts and contacts so that you can do a better job of doing business with them. The days of cold calling and just calling on as many accounts as you can, this is just not a very wise strategy. So in your CRM system, in addition to information about accounts and information about contacts, you also have an opportunity to manage what we call the opportunity pipeline. You have accounts that you're targeting. They become, eventually they become prospects. And as you learn more about them, you convert those prospects to existing customers. Managing that journey, that customer journey across the spectrum is where CRM really returns on its investment. So let's say you go to a trade show and you interact with lots of different people. But among all the people you met at the trade show, there's 3 or 4 that you're pretty sure are serious about wanting to do business with you, and you'd like to follow up with them. If they're not doing business with you now, we kind of consider that to be a lead. So you put them into your CRM system, you put a few notes about your conversation, and you can follow that customer along the journey until they finally become a customer. And once they do become a customer, now you know what products they're purchasing, you know how often they purchase it and in what quantities, and it just makes it easier for you to approach them with some other products from your portfolio. Now, again, this isn't meant to be a training of how to use CRM. It's meant to expand your mind into thinking, hey, if I'm not using a system like this, I really need to take a very serious look at it. So the title of this video is CRM is not for dummies. I thought about calling it CRM for Dummies because everybody can relate to that. There's thousands of books about written in that style. But then I got to thinking, what? CRM is not for dummies. If you want to separate yourself from the pack of dummies and move into the pack that's doing really robust business, then that's who CRM is for. Everybody carries around a smartphone, right? They don't call it a dumb phone. It's a reason it's called a smartphone, because the thing can frickin' do anything. Well, CRM is like that too. Here's my phone. I'm going to click on my Salesforce app. I have every account that I do business with in here, all the conversations I've had, all the meetings I've had, details about all that stuff is right here on my phone. It's with me all the time. This is also pretty smart because it knows where I am. Everything in here is geolocated. So if I go to a new city and I'm looking for a place, that I don't work for a winery or distillery anymore, but put yourself in your own situation. You go to a city, you're going out to a restaurant, you want to know who's carrying your product so you can go in there and support them. Just look on your phone. It knows where you are. In fact, if you leave the airport and you drive to some city center location and park your car, pull open your phone, it knows precisely where you are, and you can go immediately park your car and walk to a restaurant that's using your product. I just don't know how you could live with using paper diaries and keeping all of your contacts in your your contact log of your email service provider. It's just there's a better way. There's a much better way. I could go on and talk a lot more to you about all the many things that CRM systems can do. I'm going to talk about one more thing before I let you go, and that is recording of account calls, recording of sales calls. I have seen a lot of different salespeople. I've been a salesperson. I've led salespeople. They all have good intentions in the moment, in the meeting with the client. You tend to say a lot of things. A lot of those things are stuff you're going to do, stuff you're going to follow up on. I don't have any empirical statistics on this, just anecdotal evidence from doing it for 35 years. But most people suck at follow-up. If you talk to customers about their favorite salespeople, they almost always say what they like about that salesperson is their follow-up. They always do what they say they're going to do. They keep their promises. In fact, there's no better way to have success in selling than keeping the promises, honoring the commitments you've made. Well, I don't know of any better way to do that than when you're done with the meeting to take out your phone, you go to that account and you just tap out or use voice to text like I do and just capture everything you can remember from that meeting. One of the nice things about voice to text, and don't worry about spelling and grammar and punctuation, just talk a blue streak into the phone, dump as much of your mind onto the phone of what happened in that account. If you do that for every single account you call on, you're going to be so successful. You're going to need a second bank to hold all of your money. Now, one of the biggest objections I hear about using CRM is it's too big brotherish. I don't need someone to hold me accountable, look over my shoulder. Forget about that. That is a dumb way of looking at it. Do it for yourself. Keep really good track of your account calls and your sales calls and all of your follow-up. Do it for yourself. Most salespeople get some form of bonus or commission. Don't you want to make more? Well, I promise you there's a direct correlation between how well you follow up and how much money you make. So if that doesn't convince you to look more deeply at CRM, I don't know what will. Okay, I need to wrap it up here. Let me just summarize by saying CRM is not for dummies. CRM for smart people who want to get better sales results. And I would also tell you that if you are not using it now, step one is to learn more about it. I have a lot of information across videos and blog posts, and of course you can always reach out to me personally. And if you're an owner of a business or a leader of the sales team and you're not using this, you owe it to yourself to look more deeply at the various options, how these things are being used. And to everyone watching this video, one final piece of advice. Do not listen to people who say it's too complicated, it's too expensive, it's too big brotherish. Those people are the dummies.